G'day, we're David and Paula. Like many people, we've been working hard for many years and we're too young to retire, but we've decided to take a gap year from work. We've bought a new van and we're doing a lap right around Australia. Heck, there it is. And it's much more natural than the other ones, the other springs and things that we've been to.
Yes.
Isn't it? I mean, yes, there's a couple of access points and things, but Paul's going to float around here a bit and I'm just going to go up around the corner. There's a fair current comes through, so there's a fair flow. I didn't see where the spring feed was from, but it's a crystal clear blue sort of tinge to it. It's beautiful. Yeah, there's a loop track around the springs area, so you can go for a bit of a walk, probably ride your mountain bike around and just have a look at the springs and the stream from the springs from different locations. So it's worth going for a look. But I think the big tip is come early. It's from the middle of the day, it's sort of quite crowded and you know, kids are playing and people are trying to enjoy themselves, but you know, if you just want to just serenely float your way down and sort of enjoy the peace, yeah, come early in the morning. We just found it a little bit crowded and it's not even peak season. So what, it's about 10-minute walk from our caravan to the actual springs?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Close to that.
Yeah. So there's a shortcut track from the campground, or you can just go out near the front entrance and walk down the road, which is probably actually the quicker way.
Which is probably our shortcut.
Paula said, let's go the long, circuitous, picturesque.
I did not.
Yeah, she said, take me the scenic and picturesque way, like we always go. So I thought, all right, that's fine. We'll do that then. I don't mind. She tuckers me out there. I mean, she just likes to keep walking. Where are we going?
Mataranka.
It's at Mataranka Springs.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Early.
Warm?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a lot more like structured and organised, isn't it?
Yeah.
pleasant and it was warm, but it's very structured, isn't it?
Yes.
It's very, it just like the public swimming baths just being fed by the
Natural springs.
by the natural springs. Yeah.
Surrounded in trees.
Yeah. So I think for us, we prefer bitter springs. I think the bitter springs are just a bit bigger as well, aren't they?
It's longer.
Yeah.
So you don't get a bigger
room.
pockets of people.
Yeah. Anyway, it was worth coming down and have a look.
Yeah, it was.
This is just absolutely insane. Let's go have a look down the main street of Daly Waters. These are the this is with the Crash Robinson R440. So this is a bit eclectic, let's put it that way. No, the chicks and ducks look like that. I obviously can't read that.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go. How are the flies, Paula?
Where the old parties got the ring of fun, the ring of fun. On the river and we seen the British coming and there must have been 100 of them beating on the drum. The steps so high.
Hey, g'day.
G'day.
So Paula's not talking to me this morning. We're having a domestic. So we almost changed plans. I mean, the plan was to go from Daly Waters across the alternate route of the Savannah Way up Borroloola across to Hell's Gate. There's been some reports that the road is pretty bad between Borroloola and Hell's Gate. It normally is, but anyway, we'll see. We ummed and ahed about whether we'd go further south and go across the Tablelands Highway to Barclay and do it. So we decided we'd stick to plan and head across. It's sort of a bit more of a wild frontier across this way. I mean, at the end of the day, that section between Borroloola and Hell's Gate is sort of a large area of unsealed road. We ummed and ahed, didn't we?
We did.
And we decided we flipped a coin, pretty much. And we decided to stick to plan. It might cost us an extra day or two, but anyway, let's see what this area of the Savannah Way looks like. We're on a temporary road at the moment. I think this is the old road.
Oh, okay. They're upgrading it.
And they're building the new road over there. I wish we were on the new road. Anyway, this is a good start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we won't make Borroloola today, we don't think. It's sort of like a 5-hour drive and we don't particularly want to drive that far. We'll see how we go. So we'll get to Cape Crawford, we'll fill up with some fuel. We're carrying some extra fuel in one of the jerrys, just to give us an extra 100 kilometres of range. And we'll see how we go. Anyway, it should be interesting. And then we head across towards the Gulf country. But we've got these sections of the highway. There are these great new sections of road, but this is the Carpentaria Highway. And yeah, this section from Daly Waters to Borroloola is mostly this thin strip of sealed road, single sealed strip down the centre with the dirt verge. I know we've got a few people from overseas who watch, so this is a highway in the Northern Territory. But even this road's not too bad. It's comfortable. You know, there are some sections which are starting to fall apart, but for the most part this is comfortable, and you hardly see any other cars anyway. The Savannah Way essentially goes right across the top of Australia, from Cairns in the east to Broome in the west, and we're on this section, or one of the sections of it, essentially from central Australia across to Borroloola up to Hell's Gate. This is all savanna country, so this dry savanna, and during the wet season a lot of this gets flooded, a lot of floodways. Hey, g'day. So we've left Borroloola and we're heading towards Hell's Gate Roadhouse, and they call it Hell's Gate for a reason, because in the 1800s, that's as far coming from Queensland that the police would guarantee your safety. It was pretty lawless in this section in between, but it's also supposed to be a very bad section of road, so we're taking it easy, and we don't know whether that bad means as bad as the Gibb, better than the Gibb, worse than the Gibb. We don't know, so we're just taking it easy. So we've aired down and we'll just take our time, but the general advice that we've had is that the first 30 to 50 kilometres is horrendous, so we'll see what that means. We're going to do it in about 2 days, I think, and just take our time. A few sort of heavy corrugations, as you can hear. I'm just a little bit wary. We hit a kangaroo yesterday, unfortunately. It's the second kangaroo of the trip, and he sort of clipped us. He hit us on the front. Well, he didn't clip us, he hit us with a hell of a thump on the front left hand, and down the side, but we got some panel damage down the left hand side, minor panel damage. That one came from above us, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but we're actually going through a cutting at a place called Little River, about an hour west of Borroloola, and it was the middle of the day. So even though we try not to travel in golden hour, you know, the worst time for roos and things like that, this was the middle of the day, and he came off a cutting above us and just bounced straight out, sort of down and into the road. And so fortunately he was heading down, but he was a big bugger, and got up and bounced off sort of into the bush. I went back to have a look, but he'd gone. So fortunately for us, it could have gone either way. Coming from above us, it could easily have hit the windscreen and hit up high. So anyway, this is sort of why you need the extra protection on your car as best you can. We're also being told to watch out for the bull dust holes, which probably worry me more because they can get quite deep and they can have rocks and things down in them. But we'll just take our time, see how we go. Here's the first water crossing. Nice and clear on the bottom. Oh, it's pretty down there. A dottle, that one, wasn't it? Here we go. Another water crossing. Yeah, I can see. We can see it. There we go. Good morning. So we're at the Calvert's River crossing on the road between Borroloola and Hell's Gate Roadhouse. So Borroloola in the Northern Territory, Hellsgate Roadhouse, just the other side of the Queensland border. So we're about 120 kilometres from Hellsgate Roadhouse, roughly between the two. But it's a rough road, been a very rough road. I'd say there were sections of the Gibb which were worse, and particularly with the sharp stones and all those sorts of things. But this one's up there, that's for sure. We've had to take it easy. It took us 4.5 hours to get the 200 kilometres, closer to 5. Yeah, it's hard on the gear. I've had a look around and a check. I've got to put a few screws back in some of the hardware in the cabinetry in the caravan. But overall, the car and the van are doing the road pretty well, but you have got to take it easy. I mean, it doesn't matter how well you're set up. I mean, it's still hard on the gear. So we'll have a steady run today towards Hellsgate Roadhouse and see how we go. Hopefully the road's no worse. You get mixed reports, but we'll just take it easy. Look, beautiful area, this free camp. We were by ourselves in the free camp. There's only a couple of cars passed here in the afternoon after we'd set up, so you know, we're a long way out and it's reasonably isolated. But for us, very nice. It was quite shaded yesterday. You probably noticed I got my jumper on. It's actually freezing overnight. Now, not in southern terms freezing. I mean, it was 11 degrees overnight and it's 12 degrees now. But that's been cold compared to what we've been experiencing. Had to go rummaging through and find the jumpers. Paula's still in bed. Gave her coffee in bed, which I normally do anyway if I can. Yeah, a lot of bird life in and around. But you can't see the river from here, but I'll show you some overlay footage. There's crocodiles in the river here, so you can't go swimming here. I went down for a look, couldn't see any, but we'll have another look this morning. But we sustained a little bit of damage day before yesterday. We hit a roo, or unfortunately the roo hit us, but fortunately for us, very minor panel damage. Yeah, we were just lucky. The roo probably wasn't so lucky. But today we'll head towards Hellsgate Roadhouse. Hopefully the road's no worse. But this is a nice little free camp, and we had a roast beef dinner last night on the Weber. Don't know if you can hear that. We've got the birds chirping away. So it was a good, peaceful little spot to stop over. Well, it's a late start, wasn't it? What time is it? It's 11 o'clock.
Oh, g'day.
G'day, hey, g'day. Yeah, that's Paula going, yeah, not me, nothing to see here. Paula had a bit of a sleep in this morning and got her coffee in bed as she normally gets.
That's what happens when I get my coffee in bed.
Yeah, well, then we might actually have to reconsider all this. It was freezing.
It got cold last night.
It got cold, yeah. What did it get to? Like 11 or 12 degrees.
Yeah.
So it was cool this morning. Yeah, keep in mind we're up in the tropics. So we're back on the road from the Calvert River rest stop. So I think we've got another 120 kilometres of rough stuff today, so we'll take it easy. It's quite rocky here. This is a bit more rocky than we've been used to, so this bit's more like the Gibb River Road, isn't it?
It is a bit.
Yeah. So we saw the rough road, rough surface sign, and yep, it was rough. Sometimes you just end up on the other side of the road because the track's a little bit better. Yeah, so this is not real good in through here. But yes, this section is certainly, since that sign, has been a bit rougher. And let's hope it doesn't get any worse than this. And so the next stop for us should be in about 30-40 kilometres when we get to to the border, and then we'll be back in our home state of Queensland, at least temporarily anyway. So we've hit a sealed section, which is a welcome relief from the last hour or so, isn't it?
Oh, that was short-lived.
Yeah.
This section's really pretty.
So it's pretty.
Yeah.
The roads are good though.
Welcome to Queensland. Here we go.
Banana, mango, sugar cane. Yeah, it's back into Queensland.
We're back home in home state.
It's been 6 months to the day
Yes.
that we left Queensland. And of course, we're still, what, about 4,000 kilometres from home, if not more. Anyway, so and we're not going home. We're just in our home state.
Yep.
There we go. Bounce, 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 bounce. So much for the Queensland side being better. But we're about to get to Hills Gate. I think we'll both be glad to get out and stretch our legs. Here we go. There's Hills Gate Roadhouse. Yep, pretty rough. Been glad to pull up. Probably the Gibb's probably worse, but wouldn't be by much. It's been a tough road. Next episode, we continue the trip across the Savannah Way. We have a terrific free camp at Leichhardt Falls. We head up to the Sunset Bar at Corumba, and then we camp up at a distillery in Mareeba before we head to Cape York. Something special.
Yeah, haven't I?
Again, thanks for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, 100% of our YouTube advertising revenue goes to charity.